this time we ask you to please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. At this time, let's introduce tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Titans of Indiana South Bend. In goal, 00, Riley Cotton. Number 2, Yulissa Gallegos. Number 5, Kaylee Kiefer. Number 7, Alyssa Brito. Number 9, Mia Hoffman-Busek. Number 10, Katie Coleman. Number 12, Erica Thackeray. Number 13, Audrey Campbell. Number 21, Alex Chichester. Number 22, Fatima Cervantes. Number 28, Olivia Enyart. Indiana South Bend is coached by Bobby Barnes. And now the starting lineup for your Fighting Saints. Number 2, Ishel Palayo. Number 5, Jasmine Baez. Number 7, Kelly Flores. Number 9, Lindsay Flores. Number 10, Ari Gonzalez. Number 14, Mio Kana. Number 15, Citlali Perez. Number 16, Cara Planeta. Number 23, Andrea Aguirre. Number 24, Isabel Diaz. And in goal, number 77, Giselle Mata. Fighting Saints are coached by Mr. Al Pilar.
Good evening from Joliet, Illinois, and Joliet Memorial Stadium, the home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints, who today take on Indiana University South Bend in the finale of the 2025 regular season. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Terry Bonadonna on the call for today's matchup as the Fighting Saints try to close out the season strong. They are looking to finish up on a 4-game unbeaten streak. They are 2-0-1 in their last 3 matches, with wins on the road at Calumet St. Joe's and Governors State. Their most recent home game last week was a tie against Indiana Northwest. Today they take on Indiana South Bend, a team that they've had a lot of success against over the years. The Titans come into play today having lost 4 consecutive matches. and they will not be playing in the CCAC tournament, which opens next week, meaning that they would like to go out with a victory today because this will be their final game of the 2025 campaign. For the Saints, there is a postseason still ahead of them, but they're trying to close out the regular season strong as they take the field wearing silver and gold, white shorts. Indiana South Bend is in all black with the Red Sox as the Saints take the opening kick. We are underway. St. Francis goes from right to left. They are shooting into the north goal for the first half of today's game. Indiana South Bend is going left to right and shooting into the south goal to get things started today. We'll do a read-through of the starting lineups in just a moment as the Saints get an early throw-in. Let's take a look at the visitors first. Yulissa Gallegos, Kaylee Kiefer, Alyssa Brito, Mia Hoffman-Busek, Katie Coleman, Erica Thackeray, Audrey Campbell, Alex Chichester, Fatima Cervantes, and Olivia Enyart are their starting 10 in front of number 11, the goalkeeper Riley Cotton, who wears aqua today, standing in the north goal. Saints try to make a push, but it is stopped in the midfield by Indiana South Bend and pushed to the sideline out of bounds. So the Titans get a throw in here. They're coached by Bobby Barnes. Saints are coached by Al Pilar, both men in their 6th season at the head of the team. Here's Litzy Flores on a push for St. Francis. Flores sends it off to the right side, a little bit off the mark on the pass, and it's cleared by Indiana South Bend. Starters today for the Fighting Saints include Michelle Pelayo, Jasmine Valles, Kelly Flores, Litzy Flores, Ari Gonzalez, Mia Okana, Sitlali Perez, Cara Planeta. IUSB sets up for the free kick and plays it short on the defense. Last 3 starters for St. Francis are Andrea Aguirre, Isabel Diaz, and their goalkeeper, Giselle Mata, who's been one of the best in the conference so far this year. Pushed out of bounds, it'll be a Titans throw-in as we look at the stats on today's goalkeepers. For Giselle Mata, this is the 16th game played. She has started all but one of them this year. She's been outstanding. Just 12 goals allowed in those previous 15 games, 0.8 per contest. Look for a second like she might be challenged by the South Bend offense, but the defense stands up and does its job for St. Francis. They're able to keep it alive in possession on the defensive end. Mata this year has made 95 saves. It's an .888 save percentage. She's got 7 shutouts so far for the season. So a really good year for the junior Giselle Mata, who transferred in from College of Lake County. Whistle blew, signaling a foul on Indiana South Bend. Fighting Saints get a free kick just across midfield, nearly 3 minutes into the action. Kick will be taken by Andrea Aguirre here. She sends it right down the middle of the field into the box, headed away quickly, but right back at the Saints. Here's a shot and a goal. Just over 3 minutes in, St. Francis is on the board. .41:53 showing on the clock, and an early score for the Fighting Saints, who looked good right out of the gate. Their first shot of the game. It came off of a free kick just across midfield, deflected away initially by South Bend, but on the rebound, Saints were able to turn it into a score. So it's 1-0. St. Francis on top. They've put one in on Riley Cotton. And the Saints are immediately on the attack again. Rolled back towards the midfield and kept in bounds by Valles. But it is taken away by South Bend. Good start for St. Francis as they try to improve to 8-2-2 in conference play to start the year, or to finish the year, I should say. Passed off to the right side. A little bit too far out of range for Ari Gonzalez. The goal was scored by Isabel Diaz. It's her conference leading 12th of the year. Diaz has been so good for the most part this year that she just went through a 4-game drought. Did not score for over 3 weeks before getting on the board, scoring one of the 4 at Governors State on Friday, that's when that game was. So the goal that she scored on Friday ended her 4-game scoreless streak, and still, even after going those 4 games, she was still atop the conference with 11 goals for the season. Now she's got 12 of them. Looking to maybe add one to make it 13 here. A shot is saved by Riley Cotton. And this time, South Bend will be able to clear it. Riley Cotton is playing for the 14th time this year. She and Jordan Aiello have split time in goal this season. Cotton has, including that last one, now allowed 31 goals on the season. She's made, including that last one, 100 saves this year. .767 is her save percentage, 2.86 goals allowed per game. She's been part of 2 shutouts this year, splitting time with Jordan Aiello. They beat Calumet St. Joe's 10-0 back on October 12th, and they shut out Indiana University Columbus in the first week of September. That was a 3-0 victory. Lately, though, they've been the ones getting shut out. 10 times this year, Indiana South Bend has been blanked, including 4 matches in a row coming into tonight. So they've got their work cut out for them. After allowing a goal in the 4th minute, there's certainly plenty of time to get back into it. A 1-goal lead you wouldn't typically think of as insurmountable, but when you haven't scored a goal in 4 games, it makes it a little bit harder. 5 of the last 6 they've been shut out. Long chase towards that ball in the corner. And the race is won by the Titans as it's flicked out of bounds by Yulissa Gallegos. Throw in for the Fighting Saints. They've got the ball down in the corner. There's the cross right in front of the net, headed into the air. Back towards Valles. Valles passes to her right. This is Litzy Flores. Launched towards the box, and an easy catch on the fly made by Riley Cotton. Just about 7 minutes into the game, St. Francis has the 1-goal lead on Isabel Diaz's 13th goal of the season. Towards the near sideline, tracked down by Valles, but she can't keep it in bounds. So it'll be a throw in here for the team in black. Valles did her best to get there in time, just a little bit late as the throw is lobbed directly into the box. An easy pickup for Giselle Mata, and that allows St. Francis to clear it. Far side of the field, kept in bounds by the Titans and knocked out by Gonzalez of St. Francis. So a throw in on the far side for Indiana South Bend. Not able to control it, though, off the throw. Kelly Flores taps it ahead. Knocked off the foot of Citlali Perez. Can the Titans make a run here? Too many defenders on that side of the field. So IUSB is slowed down. Good defense from the Fighting Saints. Mia Okana tried to keep it alive down the sideline, knocked off of her foot and out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Fighting Saints. Good start to this one for St. Francis. Opposite of what they saw last Friday at Governors State. So that's rolled into the box. Another chance here for the Fighting Saints. Perez passes to the near side. Valles flips it ahead, but it is deflected by South Bend. Litzy Flores takes the shot. Deflected by the defense. It pops up into the air. Perez chases it back down for the Fighting Saints, or Flores rather. Knocked out of bounds by Litzy Flores and the Saints. St. Francis went down in the first 7 minutes of the game on Friday. Today they took a lead in the first 4 minutes. So a little bit of a better opening to today's game. They were obviously able to come back, scoring 4 goals against Governor State on Friday. So the early deficit didn't do them any harm. In fact, they hit the equalizer just about 2 minutes later. It's still in bounds, and the ball is won by the Fighting Saints. Cara Planeta trying to keep it alive, but it's taken away from her. Planeta tackles it right back. Good challenge by the Saints defender. Clock runs down close to 35 minutes, so we're just about 10 minutes into the game. Already a 1-goal lead for St. Francis. Trying to end the season with back-to-back wins. They came into play today tied with Olivet Nazarene for 4th place in the CCAC. Passed off to the near sideline. Here's a shot from Flores, and it's just a little bit too high. Looked like it skimmed the crossbar before rolling out of bounds. Goal kick coming up. That did not miss by much. There's a brisk wind. I don't know if it had anything to do with that one. It's pushing back against St. Francis right now. In any case, put a little scare into IUSB, but no harm done for them. They still trail by just 1. Good shot from Flores. Here's Kelly Flores for St. Francis. Passing to her right, and Planeta. Saints play conservatively this time around. To the sideline, it's Valles. Valles finds Litzy Flores. Good passing from the Fighting Saints. Valles working her way down the near sideline. Tries to cut it back towards the middle of the field. It's intercepted by IUSB, but right back to St. Francis. Here comes Citlali Perez. To the sideline, and Flores, and a little bit too far out in front of her and out of bounds. Saints are halted on this trip down the field by IUSB. Titans haven't been able to mount too many attacks in the opening 12 minutes of today's game. Their offense this year has been pretty quiet, just 5 goals scored in their 11 conference games. They were a little bit better offensively earlier in the year when they were playing the non-conference portion of their schedule. Here's Kelly Flores right down the center of the field. Challenged and has to give it up. Alyssa Brito stepped in defensively to force the earlier than expected pass from Flores. Saints try it again, but lose possession. Offsides on St. Francis leads to the free kick for Indiana South Bend. Their only conference win this year was a home match against Calumet. October 12th, a 10-0 victory. St. Francis shut out Calumet as well. Their win was just 3-0 though. So between the two of them, at least for that one common opponent, an advantage to the Titans, but overall it's been a rocky season for IUSB. They've got 3 wins overall. Most recently they beat Great Lakes Christian just 2 weeks ago. A little bit less than 2 weeks ago, actually. They beat Great Lakes 4-1. That again was in non-conference play. So they were shut out against Trinity Christian, then scored 4 against Great Lakes, and then 4 straight shutouts since then. So they've been held to no goals in 5 consecutive CCAC games. The last time they scored a goal against a CCAC opponent was that one against Calumet where they blew them out. In an early hole today, they've been able to step up defensively after giving up the goal just 3+ minutes in. Now a good run for the Saints. Diaz into the box, has it knocked away. Good defense that time from the Titans. It was Julissa Gallegos who made the stop. It was deflected by Valles off of Diaz. Valles was almost trying to get Diaz to clear out right there. Took a big kick right off of her teammate shins. Here come the Titans. Little trip and a foul called as Mia Hoffman-Buzek, freshman from Rensselaer, Indiana, hits the deck. So a free kick from about 10 yards past midfield, just to the right of the net. 15 minutes gone, 30 still to play in the first half. Hoffman-Buzek lines it, or Gallegos rather, lines it directly into the teeth of the defense. St. Francis looks to clear it. Nice spin move. Freed up Isabel Diaz. And the Saints are able to work it left to right towards the near side. Michelle Pelayo passes off to the middle of the field. Run up from Andrea Aguirre across midfield. Here come the Saints on offense. Stopped very quickly. Roll to the outside. South Bend tries to keep it alive. They still have not been able to put together anything resembling a scary offensive attack. Every time they've taken possession, St. Francis has stood them up. Chipped down the far sideline. Long run to that ball. Kept alive by O'Connor. O'Connor gives it up in the box. It's knocked free. Here come the Saints once again. Right in front of the net. Deflected. Ball still loose in the box. There's a shot. It's too high. Another chance for Isabel Diaz, and she sails it. Diaz has been very aggressive in the early going today, though. She's already scored 1 goal, and she's taken a few more shots as well. Diaz came into play today ranking second on the team with 74 shots, behind Kelly Flores, who's at the top of the conference with 79. 74 shots. 30 shots on goal for Isabel Diaz and 11 goals coming into today. That's incredibly efficient. Today she's taken 3 shots. One of them has gone in. Early substitution for the Fighting Saints as Ari Gonzalez goes off to the bench. Checking in is Charlene Mendoza, junior from Chicago Heights. First time we've seen a sub today for the Fighting Saints. Here's Mia O'Connor weaving her way around defenders. Dribbles to the outside, trying to turn the corner and can't. Knocked away from her by Gallegos and out of bounds. Inbounded towards O'Connor. The cross is picked up by the goalkeeper, Riley Cotton. Cotton's able to make the stop. Indiana South Bend will clear it with under 27 minutes now to play in the first half. Really good start today for the Fighting Saints. They could easily be ahead 2 or 3-0 based on some of the chances that they've had. But they'll take their 1-0 advantage. A good start for anybody at this stage of the game, especially when you consider that Indiana South Bend really hasn't had any chances so far. Pushed up near midfield. Kept alive by the Fighting Saints. It's O'Connor. O'Connor's pass is intercepted. Good defense from Gallegos. Speaking of good defense, Kelly Flores jumps in front of a pass and takes it away. Saints lose possession right back to the Titans, though. Header into the midfield circle. Olivia Enyart tried to make a play. Wasn't able to do so. Here come the Saints once again. It's Kelly Flores looking towards her right. That's the middle section. And to the sideline on the far end of the field. Planeta fires it forward. Out of bounds off the Fighting Saints. Throw in for Indiana South Bend. Headed right back in the direction it came from. A mishit by Gallegos, and that leads to an easy St. Francis throw in. Neither team able to maintain possession lately. We'll see if South Bend can change that here. They send the ball through. Stepping up and scooping it up is Giselle Mata. Ball a little bit too far out in front of its intended target. Kaylee Kiefer made a nice run. There's a shot from long range, and it drifts just wide to the right. By far the best chance we've seen so far today for Indiana South Bend. It came after their initial run fell short. Ball was picked up by Mata, but the Fighting Saints weren't able to clear it. It goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. Neither team over the last several minutes has done a great job of holding on to possession. The Saints, until just that second, haven't given up any scoring chances, but neither have they been able to control the ball and keep it away from Indiana South Bend. And it is the Titans in control of it right now. Ball flicked up to the middle of the field, loose on the ground. A trip and a foul called on Indiana South Bend. I think they got Erica Thackeray on that one. Just a little trip, incidental, but enough to get the whistle blown. Throw in coming up for Valles, who lobs it down the sideline. It hugs the line and stays in bounds. Good control by Mendoza. She's able to shake off the defender. There's the cross. Passed back and intercepted. Here's Cara Planeta. Kelly Flores' pass is deflected, cleared by Indiana South Bend. Intercepted again by the Fighting Saints. They are trying to hold on to possession now as Aguirre passes off to Planeta. Planeta pushes forward. It's Isabel Diaz who has the game's lone goal thus far. Diaz not able to turn and make an attempt towards the net this time around. Saints will try it again, making their way up from midfield. Good through ball looking for Mendoza. Gallegos is there first, and it is cleared by the goalkeeper, Cotton, who stepped one pace too far out of the box, wasn't able to pick it up, but was able to clear it anyway. Approaching the 22-minute mark of the first half, just about 23 minutes into the game. 1-0, St. Francis scored in the 4th minute. They've controlled this one ever since. Indiana South Bend almost tied it up a few minutes ago, but they are still looking for their first goal in 5 games. Pass off to the middle of the field, deflected towards the near sideline, and a chance for Indiana South Bend. The shot goes wide, and it's out of bounds for a goal kick. An attempt taken by Kaylee Kiefer. Good look from Kiefer. She just pushed it too far to the near side. St. Francis on the sideline, kept in bounds. Towards the corner Chance for Flores. Let's see Flores looking for the cross right in front of the net. It's tapped in. And the Fighting Saints double their lead. It's Mia Okana off the pass from Litzy Flores. Beautiful setup for the Fighting Saints with 20 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the first half. They add to their lead and turn it into a big deficit for Indiana South Bend, as I've been chronicling throughout this one, a team that has struggled to score. So to put them behind the 8 ball just 4 minutes into the game is tough enough. The fact that it's now a 2-0 lead for St. Francis puts them in really strong shape. They've got goals now from their 2 leading scorers of the year. Isabel Diaz scored her 12th of the season. Mia Okana added number 9. So the 2 of them have combined on 21 of St. Francis's 38 goals this year. Passed ahead across midfield to the near side, Litzy Flores. Flores rolls it back towards the middle. Looking for the opposite sideline. Looked like it went right through an Indiana South Bend defender. It's out of bounds. Deflected off the foot of Kelly Flores and out of bounds. The assist for Litzy Flores was her 2nd of the season. She's got 8 points overall this year. Okana's got 23 among the CCAC's leaders. Passed back by Perez to Planeta. Saints remain on the attack. Here's a shot, and it's wide to the right. That was Kelly Flores taking her 80th shot of the season. Flores not able to put it in. We're down under 19 minutes to play in the first half. Flores stops the goal kick with her chest at midfield and passes it off to Mia Okana. On the defensive end is Shell Pelayo. Saints playing keep away for the moment. And they do continue to keep it away. Starting the attack, it is rolled towards Citlali Perez, but knocked off of her foot by Audrey Campbell. So the Saints slowed down for a moment, trying to get back at it. Gallegos is able to take it away. Can't quite clear it, but it is now sent further downfield by Indiana South Bend. 2-0. St. Francis has the lead. They've been in control of this one, looking to add to their advantage. Nice move by Flores to free herself up for another shot, but it's wide to the right. It's been about 3 minutes since the Fighting Saints scored, and during that 3-minute stretch, Kelly Flores has had 2 good chances to score. She's put some pressure on Indiana South Bend with a couple of good shots. Two nothing. The Fighting Saints have the lead. This IUSB team is coming off the win against Calumet. I misread the score. I was looking at their score from last year when they beat them 10-0. This year was 3-0. But prior to that, 5 consecutive games in which they were shut out. Their defense has played well overall. So they're not getting blown out consistently, and they're not getting blown out tonight either. But that doesn't mean anything if you can't get on the board. On the sideline, Saints defensively let the ball get away from them. Errant pass from Pelayo, but it does not come back to Haunter. And Valles is able to clear it for the Fighting Saints. Riley Cotton has given up the 2 goals today. She's been really solid overall this year, though. She has made over 100 saves now. Fell 1 short of that number last year, where it would have been 2 in a row. Rolled into the box where it's picked up by Giselle Mata. Just under 16 minutes remaining in the game. In the first half, anyway. 2-0 St. Francis on top. They got one in the 4th minute from Isabel Diaz and then scored in the 25th minute. That was Mia Okana that time. Riley Cotton this year has allowed an average of 1.54 goals per game. It's just a little bit over 2 when Maddie Stark, the other Indiana South Bend goalkeeper, plays. So it goes back to what I was saying. They've not been getting blown out consistently. They just haven't been able to score. The defense does its job there. Saints try to get it back, but can't. Here come the Titans on the attack. 4 defenders in the way of this run right now. We'll see if the Titans are able to generate something anyway. Kiefer tried to roll it ahead, but there's a whistle, and she was offsides. So Kaylee Kiefer is offsides this time. She forces the ball back into the possession of the Fighting Saints. Let's see, Diaz tried to control it, couldn't. But she rolled it right off the foot of Maddie Stark. Today playing in the midfield. Throw-in goes back to the defensive line and Michelle Pelayo. Stolen by the Titans. Trying to cut this deficit in half. They can't here. Saints are able to step up defensively and clear it. Titans not deterred, right back on the move. Far side, it's Kiefer. There's the cross from Kiefer. It bounces once, taken off the foot of Stark. The ball's loose in the box. Kiefer comes into the shot, and it's saved by Giselle Mata. Good play by Giselle Mata. She hasn't had to do a lot today. Titans haven't been able to get too many shots off. That, I believe, was their first shot on goal. It came from Kaylee Kiefer. And it comes up short as Mata makes the play. Here come the Fighting Saints, working their way back to midfield and trying to set up an offense. Jasmine Valles going back and forth with Kelly Flores. Saints are doing a good job of increasing their pass percentage. In no hurry right now. Deflected out of bounds. They'll throw it in from the far sideline. It's Jocelyn Garcia Favela. Out of bounds for an Indiana South Bend throw. Working their way bit by bit down the field. Tossed in and immediately deflected. And back to the defense for St. Francis. Here's Litzy Flores. Flores taps it to Kelly Flores. Big kick from Okana. She sends it through, and before anybody can reach it, at least anybody for St. Francis, Riley Cotton steps up and rolls it away. Under 12 minutes to go in the first half. Saints have scored early for the second consecutive match. They fell behind in the opening minutes against Governor State on Friday, but then blitzed them after that. Tying it up 2 minutes later, taking the lead a few minutes further on. They had a hefty lead throughout most of that game, cruised to a 4-1 win. They're cruising right now, not in any trouble for the moment. Indiana South Bend could change that with a goal that would cut the deficit in half, but for the time being, Saints have got to be feeling fairly comfortable with where they're at on the scoreboard. Doesn't mean they wouldn't like to add to it. Here's Vaez. Off to Flores. Vaez streaking off to her right, was hoping to get the pass back. Instead, Flores makes sure she has control of it and now gives it up to Charlene Mendoza. Mendoza takes her time before finding Flores right behind her. Here's Kelly Flores. Saints are making the Titans do a lot of running, a lot of chasing after the ball. Aguirre has her pass intercepted. Ulissa Gallegos gives it up to Peyton Olszewski. Right back to St. Francis. It's O'Connor. Flores tries to knock it through towards O'Connor. Actually, that's not O'Connor. Jimena Diaz. Whoever it was didn't reach it. Pass was a little bit too far out in front. We're under 10 minutes to play in the first half. All St. Francis so far. And doing a lot of holding the ball at the moment. Not that they're completely slowing it down. But as I said before, they're making Indiana South Bend do a lot of chasing at the moment. The Titans are not yet at a desperation point, but they certainly are at a point where they know if the Fighting Saints are able to control possession this easily over the final 54 minutes of the game, it's not going to be much of a competition. So they're looking to make a change to the style right now. Citlali Perez passes to her right and finds Kelly Flores. Further towards the sideline, it's brought in by Jocelyn Garcia Favela. Here's Perez. Not offsides as she tries to get it through and does to Litzy Flores, kept in bounds. There's the cross. Headed back towards the back line and out of bounds for a corner kick. Flores had a good assist earlier on a ball very similar to that from a similar angle. This time she was trying to find Charlene Mendoza, and the defense just got in the way. So Flores, I thought, had a pretty nice ball again, but this time the defense was a little bit better than last time around. Here comes our first corner kick of the game. Took us 37 minutes to get here. But it is sent in short to Litzy Flores. Flores' shot is headed away, back in the direction of Flores, but cleared by Indiana South Bend. Saints step up again. O'Connor wins possession. Back to Pelayo. And now finally out of bounds. So Indiana South Bend can march in the other direction after withstanding the corner kick and then a secondary attack from the Fighting Saints. They do give the ball right back to the Saints. It'll be a throw-in here. Kelly Flores down towards the corner. Nobody there for the Saints, and so the Titans just let it roll out of bounds. We've got a goal kick. The The goal kick for Indiana South Bend bounces once before it's headed back to the St. Francis defense, and this will give them opportunity to make some more passes, although the first touch is given up right back to IUSB. Titans on the move. Running into a pair of defenders. It is knocked away. IUSB will throw it in. Headed back to the defense of St. Francis. They do slow it down a little bit, but the pressure from Indiana South Bend is picked up a little, and that gives the Saints a chance to break through. Down on the far side. Diaz works her way between a few defenders, but Jimena Diaz eventually gives it up. Saints go back on defense again. It's Litzy Flores. Flores already has 1 assist today. Looking for help this time. She has Nikki Guzman up in front of her. Pass goes to Guzman. It's deflected to the sideline out. Litzy Flores tosses it back in. Flores has been very involved early on in today's game. So has Kelly Flores, as she usually is. Kelly Flores has it right in the center. Off to her right, Garcia Favela. Garcia Favela works it from side to side before eventually finding Litzy Flores again. Flores tried to get one through, but there was nobody there for St. Francis. An easy interception for South Bend. They don't do much with the newfound possession. Kicked directly out of bounds for another throw-in. Pelayo off to her right. It's Aguirre giving it up to the sideline. St. Francis is trying to end their season on a 4-match unbeaten streak. They haven't lost since a 1-0 defeat against St. Xavier 2 weeks ago today here. Indiana South Bend tries to get on the board for the first time. The run ends with a trip. Player down for IUSB right now. A little bit slow to get up, but Olivia Enyart is okay. No whistle, so here come the Saints. A promising run halted very abruptly right there. Here's a chance for Nikki Guzman to set something up for the Fighting Saints. Guzman passes it off. This is Perez. Mia Okana works towards the sideline. Taps it off to her right, Garcia Favela. Here's Kelly Flores. Flores working with Okana. Down into the corner. The cross is deflected. Never reaches anybody. And the Titans clear it. Knocked high into the air and stays in bounds. Looked like it was going out along the sideline, but it does stay alive for the Fighting Saints. They roll it into the middle of the field. It's Nikki Guzman. Guzman squares it up. Fires a pass right in front of the net. Easy stop there for IUSB. Michelle Pelayo passes to her right, Andrea Aguirre, with under 3 minutes remaining in the half. Pass cleared by IUSB to the far sideline out of bounds. Here come the Titans, trying to make a late run. One bounce right into the chest of Giselle Mata, an easy pickup for her. The lead remains 2. St. Francis will try to carry that 2-goal lead into the second half. They're 2 minutes away from doing so. South Bend trying to push at least once before the break. They weren't able to do it right there. There's a whistle and a foul called on Indiana South Bend. Ball is set for the free kick. 35 yards out, off to the far sideline. Kick is sent in front of the net. Covered up well by Indiana South Bend, and that gives enough time for Riley Cotton to fall on top of it. Every defender was able to cover somebody. The ball just bounced a few times in front of the net. Nobody was able to reach it. Because of that strong defense, that gave Cotton enough time to just fall on top of it. So well played by everybody in black. But they still trail by 2 as we enter the final seconds of the first half. Giselle Mata steps up. We'll see how quickly she works, if the Saints are going to try to get one more chance at the goal this half, or if they just pass it back and forth and let the time run out. Looks like it might be the latter. We're down to 25 seconds, and they're in no hurry at all. They don't need to be. They've got a 2-goal lead. They just want to make sure not to do anything too risky and give South Bend a chance here late in the half. Mendoza passes off to her right. Titans take it away, but not with enough time to get a shot off, so that will put an end to the first half. St. Francis scored early, just 3 minutes and some change into the game. Isabel Diaz made it 1-0. Mia Okana was able to add to that lead a little bit later, so it's 2-0 right now, and we have reached halftime in Joliet. I'll step aside for the next 15 minutes or so, but we'll be back with half number 2. Saints on top, 2-0 against Indiana South Bend in the regular season finale. The two teams return to the field as we prepare for the start of the second half. St. Francis leads Indiana South Bend 2-0. Terry Bonadonna with you once more on the play-by-play for today's matchup as the Fighting Saints look to close it out and close out this season with a victory. They'll be playing in the conference tournament next week as well, but this will be the final regular season game of the year for St. Francis. Pretty dominant first half for the Fighting Saints. Not only do they lead the game 2-0, they have doubled up IUSB on shots as the Titans take the opening kick of the second half. Two teams have flipped sides. South Bend going from right to left, St. Francis from left to right. Shots on goal, 5-2 in favor of the Fighting Saints. Overall shots were 8-4. Fouls committed in the first half, 4 on the Titans, 2 on the Saints. We saw a grand total of just 1 corner kick. It belonged to St. Francis. Fighting Saints got their 2 goals early on. First one very early. In the 4th minute, Isabel Diaz scored her 12th of the year. And then in the 25th minute, Mia Okana added one. It was her 9th this season. Right down the middle of the field, into the box. Cotton tried to clear it, wasn't able to. But it is knocked out of harm's way by the South Bend defense. Audrey Campbell was able to get rid of it. Cotton stepped up to the edge of the box. Looked like she wasn't quite sure if she was in a position where she was allowed to pick it up or not. Isabel Diaz goes down with an injury and loses the ball in the process. So Indiana South Bend moves the other way with it. Ball knocked free. Diaz back up on her feet, trying to get back involved in the play. I'm not sure what happened to her. She is okay to continue, but she just froze in the middle of a play, trying to win possession. She just stopped and walked away from the play, dropped down to her knees for a few seconds, but she's back up and okay. Giselle Mata knocks it down the near sideline. That previous play, St. Francis very nearly scored a goal when Cotton stepped up. And as I was saying, didn't look like she was sure whether or not she could pick up the ball. So rather than risk it, she just kicked at it, and it was deflected right back to her. All of a sudden, there was an empty net. But Audrey Campbell was the first one to get to the ball and clear it. So in the end, no harm done. Campbell is one of a lot of freshmen in the starting lineup for Indiana South Bend. Fatima Cervantes is a freshman. Mia Hoffman-Buzek, Katie Coleman, Kaylee Kiefer, all of them are freshmen. They play big roles on this team. Ulissa Gallegos is a sophomore. IUSB is called for a foul. So is Erica Thackeray, sophomore, not also called for a foul. Olivia Enyart is a sophomore. Very young team. As I've chronicled today, they haven't scored much this year. Their defense hasn't been bad. Down towards the corner on the back line, and it goes out of bounds. We'll get a goal kick 3 minutes into the second half. Indiana South Bend off to a better start to this half than the first. By this point in the first half, the Fighting Saints had already scored a goal. Just 3 minutes and a few seconds in. Cara Planeta passes into the middle of the field. Taken away by Katie Coleman, one of those freshmen that I talked about. A lot of young talent, and they're almost all local. Tons of Indiana players on this roster. South Bend, just about 2.5 hour drive from here. The ball rolls into the hands of Giselle Mata. Not a shot on goal there. Mata steps up to make the play. Pushed into the middle of the field by the Fighting Saints. Kelly Flores makes the push. Flores knocks it ahead into the box. Battle for the ball. It is won by Mendoza of St. Francis, but she was slowed down enough by Audrey Campbell that she wasn't able to get a shot off, and Campbell does a nice job of turning her body before knocking that ball loose, so she sends it out the sideline for a throw-in instead of a corner kick. Saints put the ball back in play, and we've got a quick whistle, and it looks like a foul on Indiana South Bend. Second foul on the Titans this half. We're 5 minutes in. We'll see if the Fighting Saints need to make a substitution here or not. Kelly Flores is down. She's helped to her feet, and it looks like she does not need the assistance of the trainer. She was waving off the help. Initially, it looked like she was calling for help, and then changed her mind and waved it off. So she's going to stay in. The clock continues to run as we'll get a free kick from the Fighting Saints. Usually it would be Flores taking the kick. But as Flores is walking gingerly away, it'll be Andrea Aguirre who steps in to take the kick instead. 15 yards out, hugging the near sideline. Chance for Aguirre, who has not scored this year, looking for her first goal of the season. She sends it behind the net. So she decided to take the shot herself rather than cross it to a teammate, and she curls it around the back post. Curled it around the near post, actually. It's out of bounds for a goal kick, and now Riley Cotton needs some help tying her shoes. She's got those big goalkeeper's gloves on. We just had Kelly Flores down on the ground with an injury. Got up and had to limp around for a little bit before she was comfortable to go again. And the clock ran the whole time because she didn't need any assistance. And then it stops seconds after because of an untied shoe. Clock is running. The game is running once again as Katie Coleman, or rather Audrey Campbell, tries to push it up the sideline, and she sends it out of bounds instead, trying to get it to Katie Coleman. Planetta sends it back to the center, and Michelle Pelayo. Here's Citlali Perez looking for Jasmine Valles, couldn't hook up. Into the middle of the field, knocked loose initially by Cervantes. Saints get it back down the sideline and out of bounds for a goal kick. Just under 38 minutes to play in today's game. Mendoza looking for help, finds Mia Okana, and Okana gets it to her fellow captain, Kelly Flores. Flores chips it into the box, and before any other Saint can reach it, Riley Cotton sprints in and scoops it up on a bounce. So Cotton will punt it away. Challenge made by St. Francis, but nothing comes of it. Saints push back on defense as Indiana South Bend gets a free kick on a foul just shy of midfield. Kick taken right down the center and rolled off towards the side. Planetta pushes upfield where it's intercepted by Alyssa Brito. Ricocheted back and forth. Ball bounces back towards the box where Mata is there to pick it up. Still looking for the first real threat from Indiana South Bend. They've got a couple shots on goal, 2 saves made today by Giselle Mata. They haven't been particularly tough ones. Cotton goes back into the net. Now all of a sudden, ball coming in hot. She has to step up to grab that one. She's made 3 saves today as well, so both goalkeepers have gotten their hands on the ball a few times. In the case of Indiana South Bend, their best scoring chance did not result in a shot on goal. Their best shot at scoring ended up going wide to the right, so Mata didn't even have to make a play on it. But they're going to have to try to generate offense from somewhere. As Planeta steps in and takes one towards the goal, it's saved by Riley Cotton. So that's her 4th save of the day. Kara Planeta stepping up from the defense to take that one. For Planeta, it was only the 4th shot on goal this year. She hasn't scored, so the Saints are called for a foul. To the back line this time, Cotton lets it go out. But at some point, IUSB is going to have to turn up the offensive pressure. Something that's not easy for them to do. It's something they don't do all that often. They have scored 12 goals overall this season, just 5 of them since the start of conference play. Prior to their win against Calumet in their last game, they had been shut out in 5 consecutive. And they average only 9 shots per contest, so they're pretty much on target for that today. Saints have played strong defense, but IUSB is right around their usual number. Sent off towards the corner. It doesn't ever curl back to the box. Mata steps up on it anyway and taps it forward, but nobody there wearing black with a chance to put pressure on the Saints with the open net. Just under 34 minutes remaining in the game. Saints haven't exactly put this one away, but their lead is pretty comfortable right now considering the style of the game and the way it's unfolded thus far. Passed straight down the center of the field by Indiana South Bend. Here comes Alyssa Brito passing it ahead and tracked down by the defense. Back once again to Giselle Mata, who again gets to start up the possession for the Fighting Saints. Saints haven't been as aggressive, I don't think, either in the second half as they typically would be, ahead by 2 goals, and knowing they're playing against a struggling offense, they want to put their emphasis on defense right now. So I don't know that there's been a conscious effort to change their style. They've been trying to play keep away a lot, but haven't been able to do it here as Indiana South Bend is knocking on the door. There's a cross right in front of the box. It's intercepted and cleared by Jasmine Valles. Wafted forward. This is Campbell for the Titans. Into the middle of the field in Coleman, and she can't make anything happen. Saints on the counter. Okana shows off her good ball skills, but the pass is too far out in front of Kelly Flores as it's lost out of bounds to the Titans. Saints will be playing in the conference tournament next week. They came into play today holding the 5th seed. Here come the Titans. A shot is well wide to the right. I don't know if that'll even get credited as a shot for Erica Thackeray, who walks away from the play. She got the ball in pretty good position, but that was nowhere near the net. Just angled it wrong. So no trouble whatsoever for the Fighting Saints. 7-2-2 in conference play this year. St. Francis 2 weeks ago had a good shot to cement their position in second place in the CCAC. They were playing against St. Xavier back on October the 15th, and it felt like if they won that game, they would probably wrap up the second spot in the CCAC, considering they had already played all of the other contenders. To the sideline, Mata can't get to it, so now she has to sprint back to the net. Mata, on her way back, has the ball sent right into her hands. Missed opportunity for IUSB. Coleman got to the ball before Mata did. She tapped it away from her. It was a nice initial touch by Katie Coleman. Mata couldn't dive on top of the ball because she was outside of the box. So all of a sudden, IUSB had possession. The net was completely open. Another chance for Indiana South Bend, and this time it's stopped by the defense. So Giselle Mata, knowing that the net was open, went sprinting back towards her position in goal. And Coleman just didn't seem like she knew where to go with the ball. So she kicked it in the general direction of the goal, and Mata was able to make a diving stop while she was still probably 25 feet away from the net. Kelly Flores chips it in to the box, and it is stopped by the defense. Cotton steps in to clear it. Coming into today was Holy Cross, St. Ambrose, St. Xavier, and Olivet ahead of the Fighting Saints. And if they had held on to, I shouldn't say held on, they never had the lead, but if they had been able to hold off St. Xavier and win that game, they would, coming into today, still be in position to maybe even win the conference. Not just finished in second, but maybe even win it. And instead, the only thing they could hope for was the best would have been third place. And that third place would come with a win and losses from St. Xavier and Olivet Nazarene. Olivet has already won. So now it's between St. Francis and St. Xavier for the fourth spot in the conference. St. Xavier's playing Calumet College of St. Joe's today, so not great for the Fighting Saints, knowing that Calumet's just 1-10 in conference play this year. Which means that the Saints need a win and some big help in order to get a top 4 spot in the conference this year. That would allow them to host a game in the CCAC tournament next week. It's such a wide open conference, though. Anybody 1 through 5, they're all neck and neck. I mean, any one of those 5 teams could very easily win. And that's not to say 6 through 8 in the conference are out of the running, but just that those top 5 teams, there's I think a pretty substantial line right now between 5 and 6, 7, and 8. The Turbo came into play today in 6th place in the conference, and they've got a winning record as well. A lot of parity at the top of the conference this year, but it's disparate when you separate the top half from the bottom half. Foul called against IUSB means that the Fighting Saints have a free kick. This is potentially scoring range for Kelly Flores. Flores does take a shot right at the goalie, and Cotton is able to stick it. Nice save by Riley Cotton as Kelly Flores takes another shot on goal. Team leader. Came in with 41 of them this year. "27 minutes to play in this game. 27 minutes remaining in the season for IUSB. St. Francis is guaranteed at least one more game, if not more. Gallegos clears it for IUSB. Can the Titans make that offensive push? They've been playing a little bit better offensively of late, but during that time still haven't been able to really threaten. And they need not just 1 goal but 2 to tie, 3 to win. So they've got their work cut out for them with less than a half hour to play. Here comes Isabel Diaz, who scored the first goal of the game. Passing it ahead and getting it right back. Diaz comes to the near side. Sends it over the head of the defender. Long run for Mia Okana. Okana cannot keep it in bounds. Just barely out of her reach. And it's out for a goal kick. It went out in the corner. But it is out the back line. Looks like St. Francis is switching their goalie. Giselle Mata comes out, working on what would have been her 8th shutout of the season. Trying to turn it into a combined shutout now with Katie Morellis, the senior who comes on for the final 25 minutes of gameplay. First time the Saints have made a goalkeeper switch in a game this year. There's a shot that is saved on one bounce by Cotton. Shot from Charlene Mendoza. Tough angle. I guess it wasn't the angle of the ball that was tough. It was her body. Really, she had to twist it as she was taking the shot. Still got a lot on it. But Cotton was able to scoop it up on one hop. Second game played this year for Katie Morellis. Previous one she appeared in, she played the entire 90 minutes. Didn't have to make a single save. And picked up a victory. It was early in the year. So she's got one shutout as well. Saints have 8 as a team, 7 for their starter Mata, 1 for Katie Morellis, and if they're able to finish this one off, it would be their first combined shutout of the season. Isabel Diaz along the sideline, trying to create separation, slips and falls, and the ball is knocked out of bounds by the Titans. Tossed in by Garcia Favela. And a whistle, foul called on the Fighting Saints. 24 minutes and counting as the Fighting Saints nurse a 2-goal lead. They haven't scored in the second half, but they've led pretty much the whole way through. Isabel Diaz scored in the 4th minute, early in the 4th minute. Mia Okana doubled the advantage with a 25th minute score assisted by Litzy Flores. Diaz's goal was unassisted. It came off a free kick after St. Xavier, or rather Indiana South Bend, deflected the ball. Diaz recovered the ricochet and scored. Out of bounds on the Titans. Saints ball on the throw. That's knocked off the foot of Jasmine Valles. Stays in bounds, but the Saints do end up kicking it out. Titans trying to make a run, but they are slowed down again. Throw in coming up for the Titans to the edge of the box. Knocked loose, turned, a shot, goes over the net and out of bounds. Looked like Olivia Enyart who got that shot off. And Enyart was not able to put it in. The Saints make another substitution. Jasmine Valles comes in, or comes out. Coming in is Nikki Guzman, who we saw earlier in the game. Cara Planeta comes back in. Al Pilar rotating a lot of players. It's a tough game to be sitting on the bench because it's chilly out there. Nothing crazy. I mean, it's seasonal temperatures in the low 50s. That's where you'd expect to be this time of year. It doesn't make it feel any better to the people who are on the sideline. So if you're shuffling in and out of the game, you've really got to be careful not to freeze up when you're on the sideline. Players down there have to stay warm, and El Pilar is trying to keep players warm by making a lot of substitutions here in the second half. He's even made a goalkeeper switch. Katie Morellis is in for Giselle Mata. IUSB's defense able to stand tall here, knocked out of bounds. They haven't cleared it completely yet. Jocelyn Garcia Favela steps in for the throw. Intercepted on the toss. And a foul called on St. Francis. I think we're going to get a yellow card. Little conversation with Isabel Diaz. Thought he was going to show her a card. He did stop the clock with 20 minutes 53 seconds remaining. Usually that's why the clock would stop for the yellow card, but he didn't book her. So play is back underway. The clock is running again. No card given. Good defense by the Saints, but it's lost out of bounds by Jimena Diaz. Titans getting into the box. A chance to take a shot here right in front of the net. The shot is deflected out of bounds. Erica Thackeray was in position to score, but it was knocked away. So we've got a corner kick coming up. I don't know if that ever got to Katie Morales, if it was one of the defenders that deflected it away. It looked like the defense jumped in. Either way, it's a corner kick to the back post. Another chance for IUSB. A shot, and this time they score. For the first time today, the Titans are on the board. 19:47 to play, and they are within one. So this game is a long way from over. Their two best attempts of the game came back to back. One of them resulted in the corner kick, and the second one goes through. Didn't see who touched that one last. Try to find out who scored the goal, but it is now a 2-1 game. The 71st minute goal scored by Indiana South Bend to make things considerably more interesting here in the season finale. It's a Titans team that has not been scoring, shut out in 5 consecutive games prior to last weekend, and now they've got 4 goals in their last 2. Granted, 3 of them are against Calumet, who this year has surrendered 38 goals in 11 conference games. But sometimes that's what you need to face a struggling defensive team to get the confidence up again. And the Saints can no longer be content with their 2 goals. They're going to try to add another one to put this game away. Foul is called on Indiana South Bend. A yellow card is given out. Yellow card given, it looked like, to Alex Chichester. So a free kick coming up here for Kelly Flores. And a chance for St. Francis to double their lead, push it back to 2. It's been 2 for much of the night. More than half the game, in fact. Flores approaches, takes the kick right in front of the net, headed into the air, still loose. There's another header towards the net, and a save is made by Riley Cotton. Still 2-1. Cotton's been able to make a handful of good saves in the second half. For the most part, they've been good saves that haven't seemed to have a huge impact on the game, because at 2-0 against a team that has been struggling to score as much as Indiana South Bend has, you'd think that the 2-0 lead would probably hold up, and so the saves made by Cotton were just enough to keep this thing relatively close. But now that South Bend has gotten 1 goal on the board, those saves are looming a lot larger, because the Titans are back in the game. Sent into the box and cleared by Indiana South Bend. Throw-in coming up for the Titans. Sent forward by St. Francis. Down the sideline looking for Jimena Diaz. It's deflected, but it finds Diaz anyway. Jimena Diaz takes the shot. It's through the hands of Cotton, and on the back end, the Saints are able to knock it in. They take a 3-1 lead. The shot came from the right side from Jimena Diaz. And it went right through the hands of Riley Cotton. It looked like Cotton had a beat on it. But just couldn't keep her hands on the ball. And as it went right past her, there was nobody there but Fighting Saints ready to tap it in. I think it was Sofia Velasquez. That's what it looked like to me, who was able to tap it in. For Velasquez, that is goal number 1 this season. And goal number 1 of her college career. And it comes at a big time, just 2 minutes after Indiana South Bend had made a game out of this. Cutting the deficit to just 1. It's back up to 2. And I won't quite say game over, but the mountain that IUSB has to get over has grown. It's big again. Back to where it was. The Indiana South Bend goal was the 4th of the year, scored by Olivia Enyart, who led the team with 6 goals as a freshman last year. For the Saints today, it's been their 2 leading goal scorers, Diaz with her 12th and O'Connor with her 9th. And then Velasquez, who got her first as a Fighting Saint. So both ends of the spectrum there for St. Francis as the ball is tapped out of bounds accidentally by Jimena Diaz. Under 16 minutes on the clock. Creates a throw in for IUSB. And their attacking third of the field. Chipped into the air by Olivia Enyart and easily picked up on a bounce by Katie Morales. Morales is a senior from Joliet West High School. She's gotten a lot of action over the years with St. Francis, but this year it's been Giselle Mata's show. Morales getting a little playing time, came in just for the last 25 minutes of this game. Only the second time all season she's seen the field. Aguirre to Kelly Flores. Flores launches it downfield where it's headed away by IUSB. Along the sideline out of bounds. Saints throw just across midfield. Kelly Flores steps off the field for the Fighting Saints. Looks like Ari Gonzalez is returning to the field. Andrea Aguirre passes off to the left side. Pushed ahead on the far sideline. Gallegos jumps in for IUSB. Knocks it out of bounds for another Fighting Saints throw-in. Getting late in this one as the clock approaches 14 minutes. CCAC tournament schedule will be released soon. The Saints are likely to be on the road based on the fact that they were the number 5 team coming in. Olivet Nazarene did win earlier today, so it's just a matter of this result in St. Xavier's. Diaz sends it towards the net, and this time Cotton is able to secure it in her hands. That was not a similar setup, but a similar location on the field to where Diaz took the shot a few moments ago that resulted in the Sofia Vasquez goal. Velasquez on the back end of that play after Cotton let the ball roll through her hands, was able to pick up her first goal. defense steps up for St. Francis. They've got it in the midfield circle. Planeta passed it ahead. It's Garcia Favela now and knocked away from her. A good challenge from Katie Coleman, but Garcia Favela gets her right back, takes it away from Coleman, and then knocks it off of Coleman out of bounds for a throw-in. Sent into a sea of black shirts and cleared pretty quickly there by Gallegos. A couple of bounces. Katie Morales picks it up. Indiana South Bend took a step up this year in conference play. Last year they finished 1-10. Barring a big late comeback, they're going to finish this season with one conference win as well, but they did throw a couple of draws in there too. The defense has been a lot better. I've talked about it throughout the night. Their offense hasn't been there for most of the season. So even though they're trailing by 2 here, the fact that they have one goal is at least one positive for a team that has been really having troubles putting the ball in the net. Morales steps in and kicks it towards the far sideline. Bounces towards that line, stays in bounds. And a nice job by Guzman to keep it alive for the Saints as she rolls it ahead. And it's knocked away by South Bend. We've got an injured player for Indiana South Bend. That was at the site of Guzman's initial challenge. And the injured player is Fatima Cervantes. So the clock is killed at 11 minutes 33 seconds. St. Francis has a 3-1 lead. And Cervantes is on her feet and walking off towards the sideline. So Cervantes has to be replaced. Saints are going to make a substitution as well. Jalissa Villafuerte is ready to come in. Just her 9th appearance this year. Al Pilar continues to empty his bench. He's been shuffling players in and out for much of the night, but a lot of the starters are out now, and I would guess that with a multi-goal lead late, unless things tighten up here with IUSB scoring again, a lot of the starters are done for the day. But we'll see how he decides to play it. One of those backups who doesn't see a ton of time, Sofia Velasquez, has made the extra time on the field pay off today. Velasquez has appeared in most games this year, but usually doesn't see a ton of minutes. That's out of bounds for a goal kick. But getting a little extended play today, as a few other people are as well. She was able to pick up her first career goal. It was a big one. Added some insurance to this lead. It's 3-1 right now with 10+ minutes to go in the second half. St. Francis scored in the 4th minute of today's game. Conference leading 12th of the year for Isabel Diaz, who's also got 4 assists this season for a total of 28 points. The Saints have never looked back. Up in the 4th minute, and they've held the lead by 2 goals for the majority of the game. They've been up by at least 2 for just about an hour. A chance to tighten things up here with a run from IUSB into the box. It's knocked to the back post. A shot is deflected in, and it's now a 3-2 game. Katie Morales stepped up out of the net to try to make a stop. And after the initial deflection, it bounced to the backside of the net. There were a couple of defenders there for St. Francis. Morales was not in position after she had challenged the first shot. But there were a few other defenders there, and I think it was Katie Coleman who knocked it in. Past those defenders, and again, she makes it a 2-goal game. or a 1 goal game. It's 2 goal game for Indiana South Bend's offense. But 1 goal in terms of the margin. We were sitting at 2-0 for a long time. All of a sudden, 3 goals have scored in the last 10 minutes. Olivia Enyart had her 4th of the year in the 71st minute. And in the 73rd, it was Sofia Velasquez making it 3-1. And in the 80th minute, Katie Coleman makes it 3-2 with her 4th goal of the year. Tied up with Enyart for the team lead. They were tied for the team lead coming in with 3 goals each, and now they're tied for the team lead with 4 goals each. Both of IUSB's scores today have come against the backup Katie Morales. Morales came in with just over 25 minutes remaining in the game. And she's made a few saves, but she's allowed 2 goals as well. The starter, Giselle Mata, who has played most of the minutes this season for St. Francis, made 2 saves in her 65 or so minutes, 64 plus minutes in the action. So 2 saves and 2 shots on goal. And in the last 17 minutes since she departed, IUSB has had 4 shots on goal already. So the 2 goalkeepers, Mata and Morales, have each made 2 saves. First 2 saves of the year, by the way, for Morales. Also her first 2 goals allowed this year. They're even in saves, but Morales has had to face a lot more pressure in a much shorter period of time. Free kick after the foul is smothered by Riley Cotton. Kick was taken by Andrea Aguirre with Kelly Flores, who usually handles the set pieces, out of the game. She's been out for the last 5 minutes or so. IUSB looking to tie the score. Pushes it ahead. They've got another run at the net. Deflected by Morales off to the left of the net. Nice save by Morales. 5th shot on goal for IUSB since Morales entered the game less than 20 minutes ago, and St. Francis is able to clear it. And part of that is probably the desperation of the Titans, knowing they need to score in a hurry now, and part of it probably is the fact that the Saints have removed a number of their starters from the game. Some of them have come back in, some of them have not. Pushed ahead, a chance for the Saints to get a shot, but it's a little bit out of the reach. Not able to get a shot off. Jalissa Villafuerte was the one who made the run on that ball, and that pass was just a tiny bit out in front of her. Clock continues to run, down to 6.5 minutes to play. St. Francis still leads by 1. Villafuerte challenges on defense. Knocks the ball loose, but the Titans are still able to clear it. Right down the middle of the field, it's Cara Planeta. Rolling it to her left, and to Shell Pelayo. Pelayo taps it ahead to Citlali Perez. Here's Mia Okana. Okana passes into the middle. Passed ahead, nobody there. So Riley Cotton is able to get it out of harm's way. Katie Coleman turns upfield. Nice move by Coleman to get around Jocelyn Garcia Favela. She cannot shake Citlali Perez, though, who comes in with the tackle and takes the ball away. See how long St. Francis is able to hold this one now. Just trying to prevent IUSB from getting even a chance at making an attack at Katie Morales. Ball back in possession of Morales right now. She reverses field to her left. Pass is challenged by Alyssa Brito, and Brito is called for the foul as a result. Free kick taken to the far sideline. Okana works her way around the defender into some free space. Challenged once again. Finds Guzman on the sideline. Nikki Guzman tries to cut it back towards the middle of the field. Cross from Okana. She takes the shot, and it's saved by Riley Cotton. Cotton's given up 3 goals today, but she's had a nice night. She's got a whole bunch of saves as well. That was her 11th. 11 saves today for Cotton. It's a big number. The clock will stop for a moment as the Saints make some substitutions. Jasmine Valles and Kelly Flores are coming back in. So the starters are returning to the field for the final few minutes for St. Francis. Mia Okana has already been back out there for the last several minutes. Charlene Mendoza is back on the field as well. Mendoza, not a starter, but she's out there in crunch time a lot. And she is again today with just over 4 minutes to play. Kelly Flores comes up with a stop on defense. Taken back by the Titans. Here they come. Flores challenges another pass and wins that challenge. The ball is knocked out of bounds by IUSB. Aguirre passes it forward. It's Cara Planeta right along the near sideline at midfield. Planeta not trying to do anything fancy. Nearly sent it into no man's land, though. There were enough Saints in the area to prevent Erica Thackeray from getting to that ball. Every time the Saints can push it downfield and run some clock, forcing IUSB back on the defensive side, is a big play. There's time for the Titans to make a couple of runs towards the net here, but if they have to keep starting in the defensive third of the field, it's going to be difficult for them. They're going to start on the defensive side right now as they get a goal kick with 3 minutes to play. And the Saints make another substitution, stopping the clock. Sophie Valles Vargas comes in. She scored her first goal of the season on Friday against Governor State, and now makes her 8th appearance on the field of the year. Clock running down as St. Francis makes an attack. Sliding stop by Riley Cotton off the shot from Kelly Flores. She stopped that one, looked like with her thighs. Didn't put her hands on it, instead just slid to knock the ball away and corral it that way. To the backside of the field, Saints can't keep it in bounds. Goal kick coming up for IUSB, but they're running out of time. We'll be down to 2 minutes as IUSB takes possession. They're playing it short. Tackle and a foul called on the Fighting Saints. Everybody makes their way down the field, but IUSB's got to work in a hurry here. Probably taking too much time as it is. As the clock runs down, we'll have fewer than 100 seconds to go as IUSB takes that free kick, booted deep down the middle of the field. Knocked free by the Fighting Saints defense. A foul called on IUSB. Andrea Aguirre has it set up, taking her time. She boots it off to the opposite box where it's picked up by Cotton. And now IUSB prepares for what will probably be their final approach of the game. The next time they're able to get possession of it, if St. Francis takes it away again and pushes it onto their attacking side of the field. I don't know if the Titans will have enough time to mount another attack, so they've got to do it right here. Deflected, and the Saints do take control. And they are taking their time down the sideline, out of bounds, so that'll open the door just slightly for IUSB. It is passed in, though, right to Cara Planeta. And Planeta tries to gain possession, she does. And IUSB may have just run out of time. We'll see. Ball is deflected back into the defensive third for the Titans. With 15 seconds remaining and a throw-in coming up for St. Francis, that should do it. Fighting Saints take their time getting the ball back in bounds. Mia Okana takes one final shot. It lands over the net, out of bounds, and that will do it. The final score is St. Francis 3, Indiana South Bend 2. It is a final here at Joliet Memorial Stadium as the Fighting Saints wrap up this season with a 3-2 victory. And they end the regular campaign taking a result in 4 consecutive contests and 7 of their final 8. Their only loss over the last month of the season was a 1-0 defeat against St. Xavier here on October 15th. But a good showing from them, particularly offensively today, as they took the lead in the 4th minute and then never trailed. Isabel Diaz scored her conference-leading 12th goal of the season in minute number 4. That put the Saints up 1-0. It was a 2-0 score at halftime as Mia Okana scored her 9th goal of the season. That 2-0 lead looked pretty safe, but Indiana South Bend turned up the offense in the 71st minute. Olivia Enyart scored her 4th goal this year. That made it 2-1. But again, St. Francis distanced themselves just a few minutes later. In the 73rd, it was Sofia Velasquez making it a 3-1 game. And again, it looked like that would put it away. But Katie Coleman stepped up for South Bend in the 81st minute. So in the span of 10 minutes, 3 goals were scored. It was Coleman's 4th of the year. It made it 3-2. But I don't believe Indiana South Bend had another shot on goal after that. Or maybe just one the rest of the way. The Saints were scarcely threatened in the final few minutes of the game. Look at some of the final totals in this one. The Saints outshot the Titans today, 20-12. Shots on goal were 15-7. Which means that Riley Cotton did have a very impressive 12 saves in the game today. 7 shots on goal for South Bend means, aside from the 2 goals scored, there were 5 saves. 2 of them from the starter, Giselle Mata. She played the first 65 minutes. And then Katie Morellis made 3 saves and allowed 2 goals in her 25 minutes on the field. Total fouls today, 13 for South Bend, 9 for St. Francis. Each team was called for 1 offsides. We only saw 2 total corner kicks in the game, 1 for each team. Indiana South Bend's 1 corner kick did lead to 1 of their 2 goals. The final score is 3-2. With that victory, St. Francis ends the regular season with a record of 11-3-3, 8-2-2 in conference. Go to GoFightingSaints.com. Later this week, you can find out the final results of the conference tournament and where everybody will be playing and who they'll be playing against. So that conference tournament begins next week. Indiana South Bend finishes the season at 3-11-3. 1-8-2 is their conference record. That'll do it for this one from Joliet Memorial Stadium, the home of the University of St. Francis. The Fighting Saints win it by a final score of 3-2. Till next time, Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Have a good rest of your Wednesday night.